This is the Washington Times front page for Wednesday, January 14th, 2026. Thanks for joining us. I'm George Gerbo. Protests in the streets of Iran threaten the clerics who rule the country, but it's not clear who will take over if the mullahs fall. Von Kocking reports the decentralized nature of the protests, along with fear of becoming a target for state violence, has hindered the emergence of a singular protest leader in Iran. Reza Pahlavi, the exiled son of the last Shah of Iran, is likely the most recognizable voice of Iranian dissidents. Protests began December 28th with small-scale demonstrations by business owners in Tehran decrying the collapse of Iran's currency. The movement has spread to all of Iran's 31 provinces over the past 2 weeks, and the regime is struggling to contain it. Republican-led states have asked the Supreme Court to uphold their laws that generally bar biological males from female sports. The majority of the justices appeared open to that argument, though they wrestled with the implications, Alex Sawyer reports. They wondered whether that would mean opening the door to segregated chess teams and academic classes, or eliminating same-sex locker rooms and separate teams for males and females. The court's liberal wing worried about the implications of leaving out some biological boys who identify as girls and cannot compete effectively on boys' teams. Republican court appointees said the girls being pushed off teams, missing the medal stand, and losing scholarships must also be considered. Republican lawmakers have asked the Trump administration to cancel its support for a lab being built in Colorado to research coronaviruses and other dangerous pathogens. Stephen Dinan reports the lab, funded by the National Institutes of Health and being built by Colorado State University, is designed to house a breeding colony of bats that will be used by other labs to study a list of viruses, including Ebola and the virus at the root of the COVID-19 pandemic. The Trump administration helped bolster the lab after NIH siphoned $2.2 million in taxpayer money to it. In a letter to NIH Director Jay Bhattacharya, Iowa Senator Joni Ernst and Arizona Representative Paul Gosar said he could halt millions of dollars that have yet to be released to the lab. Tennessee Senator Marsha Blackburn hopes this will be the year when something is accomplished relating to her push to establish federal privacy and safety standards for protecting consumers. In the coming weeks, Lindsay McPherson reports the Republican will introduce a bill to create federal rules for artificial intelligence and online platforms to protect children, creators, consumers, and communities from exploitation, abuse, and censorship. The legislation will require AI platforms to conduct regular risk assessments of how their algorithms, engagement mechanics, and data practices contribute to psychological, physical, financial, and exploitative harms. A top Navy official says a new class of battleships will fill a critical need for the military and enable the service to project more power on the seas. Mike Glenn reports Rear Admiral Derek Trinkay, the Navy Director of Surface Warfare, told the Surface Navy Association's annual symposium that the next generation of ships under development will fill gaps and add new capabilities beyond what the current fleet can provide. The plan to build battleships comes at a crucial moment for the service. The Navy Surface Force community is facing major challenges, including persistent maintenance backlogs, insufficient spare parts, and a struggling industrial base for shipbuilding. And finally, New York Mayor Zohran Mamdani's inner circle at City Hall is already taking shape, and so is the backlash. Seth MacLachlan reports Mamdani announced the deputy mayor's post would go to Dean Fulihan, who held the post under Mayor Bill de Blasio. The mayor also named his campaign manager, L. Bisgard Church, as his chief of staff, and even before taking office, Mamdani announced that Jessica Tisch would remain as police commissioner. The criticism intensified when Mamdani relaunched the Office to Protect Tenants and tapped C. Weaver, a fellow Democratic socialist known as a relentless tenant advocate, to run it. She's expected to help the mayor follow through on his campaign pledge to freeze rents on 1 million rent-regulated apartments. Find all today's front page stories at WashingtonTimes.com/front page or on the Washington Times app, and find us wherever you get your podcasts. You can also find us on social media at Wash Times for breaking news, sports, commentary, and more. For the Washington Times, I'm George Gerbo.